So I'm here for Anna Hall, who's the president of the Porpoise Conservation Society, but she couldn't be here today because she's somewhere else very important. I'm going to tell you about that in a few seconds. I'm just going to explain the title of my talk. The Porpoise Conservation Society was founded shortly after Anna Hall gave a talk in Vancouver, and she named that talk Shades of Grey. And she was totally innocent in that. She had never heard of 50 Shades of Grey. But everybody in the audience knew about it, so when her first slide came up, everybody started laughing, and she didn't know why. So that was about 5 years ago, so that's why 5 years later. And today I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what the Porpoise Conservation Society has been doing over the last 5 years. Before I do that, though, quickly, Anna is in China right now. She's been invited by the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and she's currently in Wuhan to work on Finless porpoise conservation. Very cute animals, and my friend Hunter is going to tell you all about the Finless porpoise and what conservation projects are going on in China in a few minutes. The Porpoise Conservation Society was basically founded because we thought we needed sort of an organizational background to do a study on Harbour porpoise from White Cliff Park, which is what that picture shows of West Vancouver. Anna thought we really needed to raise some funds and do some proper science, so we did. And this is what we're doing in White Cliff Park. We're looking at seasonal abundance, near-shore habitat use, and we're especially interested in cow-calf pairs. And this was just the first study, sort of a pilot project to develop some tools and develop a study protocol and to give us some time to set that all up. And that study is now already in year 5. Just going to show you some pictures because there's not going to be any hard science for me. I'm not going to bore you with data tables because I don't have any ready. I did this talk this morning at 1 o'clock. This is probably the closest I've ever seen a harbour porpoise from land. They were within about 15 meters from shore, so we were looking down from the cliff. This is how we saw them, and it's very rare. Most of you, if you've ever seen them, they're not as big. Tiny animals, so cute. A group of 3, quite rare. For us, the most common group size is still 1 or 2 animals, but occasionally we see more. And I like this picture because it just shows that size difference. This is how tiny our porpoises are. And I have this picture here because we always talk about the danger of boat collisions, but when we do, we usually talk about larger whales, and we tell them to watch for a blow. Yeah, I challenge you to even spot the blow of that little porpoise. This one is running away, which is why it's actually splashing a little bit. Otherwise, you wouldn't see anything other than the dorsal fin, and this boat is on a collision course. So if you watch for whales, start at the very small ones. And then this is a rare picture, and this porpoise is exercising. What you can see is there's a little bit of pink underneath that pectoral fin. This is a little bit more to the idea of what they're actually doing. This is a mating attempt, and this is a bit more of an obvious mating attempt. Their testes, some of the largest in the mammal kingdom, body size ratio to, or body weight to their testes would be 4 to 6% of their body weight. So that's impressive. And there was a lot of mating action. All these pictures were taken, by the way, this year. I didn't have so much time to go through the older pictures, so these pictures were just taken this year, and most of them on a single day. So there was a lot of action going on. And I can hear from that silence, some of you are jealous, but don't be. It's just about 2 seconds, and you're not that acrobatic, trust me. We're also doing something really exciting. We started this, I think, in 2017 already, a photo ID project together with our friends at PacMam in Washington. They're doing the actual photo comparison for us, but we're taking lots of pictures, and they're doing the same in Washington. The idea just being that we can look at site fidelity as well and get an idea of whether these animals are visiting the same spots over and over again. And what have we gotten out of this? Well, 4 years worth of data, or more than 4 years now, thousands of pictures. We're analyzing both the pictures and the myriad amounts of data that we've collected. And we've created a study protocol that we've now been able to expand to other parts of the world and also use it here in BC at other study sites. And we developed a cool software because the very first thing we noticed when we started the study, not being scientists, those data sheets are really annoying. We ended up with a stack of a lot of paper, and we noticed that if there was a lot of action going on, lots of Harbour porpoise, many different groups, we were quickly losing the overview of what animals were and belongs to which group and how many animals I have. And we needed something to turn that into a software that would allow us to do that electronically. So this is a custom developed software. We're calling it Transect Pro, and we've been using it for more than 4 years now. Pretty much, we started developing it on the first day of the study. That's when I decided I've got enough of data sheets. It's just not for me. Me and data sheets, we don't mix. So that's one of the very exciting things we've been able to do. We are going to add a study site in the Georgia Strait. Anna's very excited about it. I'm not allowed to tell you more about it because she wants to next year, so stay tuned for that. And we're going to add additional study sites. We've already begun by adding East Point, Saturna Island, just because the study site is very, very similar to our study site in White Cliff Park. So we were basically able to take the same study protocol and use it without modifications there. And you can see the deplorable working conditions under which our poor observers are forced to endure this view. It is absolutely terrible, I tell you. The very first day we went to Saturna and had a look at our study site. We hadn't even unwrapped our equipment, and we already had porpoise there. So we started taking pictures right away because we are also doing our photo identification in Saturna as well. And we managed to get some great pictures from Saturna porpoise that are very close to the shore. This is a calf. Can you see it? It actually has a face. Porpoise do have faces. Most people believe it's just the dorsal fin, but no, they actually do have faces. Look at this. Can you see the eye? It's close, but it does have an eye, I swear. But most of the time, we still see them this size. See the calf there? So cute. Working the tide line. And this was taken on the last day of our first day on Saturna when it was raining, but we just couldn't leave because there were so many porpoise and we needed all those pictures, and that's another mother calf pair. So many mother calf pairs that we saw from Saturna Island. Just going to tell you something else we've started last year. We began a study of Burmeister's porpoise. The species has recently been reclassified on the IUCN Red List of threatened species. It's now near threatened. This is happening in Chile. It's a first study of its kind. We hope to turn that into a long-term project. This is just a picture to give you an idea of what they would look like if you were to actually see them. This is a very realistic painting. And just to give you an idea of where in Chile we are, that's where we are. And also to give you an idea of what that looks like, it's very industrial. Part of the reason why we're doing this, there's a high risk of chemical spills, stuff that's really unpleasant to have in the water, like sulfuric acid. And this is our team there. We have a lot of volunteers and a contractor who are helping us deliver this program in Chile. So what's next for us? I told you I might need 7. We're also establishing a new study site in Scotland, just to get an idea of how similar those porpoises behave and how they use their habitats. This is actually in a special area of conservation, some sort of a marine protected area, especially designated for Harbour porpoise. I wish we had that here. And then we're going to study these guys, Dell's porpoise. Yes. Anna Hall, when she began her research on porpoise, she's been studying them for more than 20 years. She did that in the Gulf Islands. She was studying Dell's porpoise and Harbour porpoise, and so we're going to pick up where she ended her studies there, going to look at habitat use, seasonal distribution, and also an emphasis on cow-calf pairs, because we like babies, and we call them babies. occasionally. We are a nonprofit organization. Everything we do, almost everything. We have one contractor that's the only person who actually gets money. Everything else is being delivered by volunteers like myself. So please donate and volunteer. Porpoise.org is the address if you want to find out more. And I want to thank the people that have made this possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.